How's it going, everyone? Today I'm going to be finally working on the paint on my 2003 Saab 9.3 ARC. Now this car is a bit of a cluster when it comes to the paint. As you can see, you have some nicer body panels here, such as the front bumper, this fender, because I actually had both these repainted a couple years ago. Then you've got other body panels like the hood, the fender over here, which is just atrocious. It's completely gone right up along this top line here. The roof is way gone, so we're not going to be able to do much about that. And then the top of these doors right here, right along this line right here, is pretty much too far gone. I mean, you can see how bad that line looks right there. So I'm going to try and make that a little bit better. But besides that, the rear bumper has recently been repainted. I got that done along with the other front bumper. And these two doors are pretty much perfect. So there's some scratches here and there, of course, you know, being what is now a 16-year-old car, believe it or not. So the car is by no means perfect, but I've got a handful of products I'm going to use today. I just wanted to get it out in the sun first so you guys could see what it looks like. So today we're going to be using a clay bar on it. Of course, this is after I use a quick detailer on it. I washed it a couple days ago, but it's already a little bit dirty again. So we're going to do a quick detailer. We're going to do a clay bar. I have some Scratch X that I used on my Turbo X that I might use on this too. I also have some trim restore that I bought for this car that I'll be using. And then of course we'll finish it off with a nice coat of wax. So I don't know how much this is going to help because some of these body panels are past saving. I mean, this line right here, you can see what the paint should look like versus what this looks like. So what I'm probably going to end up doing is getting certain body panels repainted. For sure this fender, for sure the roof, although I might wrap the roof instead, and then most likely these two doors too. So it's gonna be a process. It's gonna cost me a good amount of money, but I think it'll be worth it in the end, but we'll see. But anyways, I gotta pull the Turbo X out of the garage because I'm gonna do what I did when I had the SOC prep for the Turbo X, and that was basically take up both garage spaces because, well, it gives me a better angle of the car and I can have more room to work around. So let's move this thing, which has barely gotten driven since SOC. Look, I've missed driving this car, of course, I'm not gonna lie, but the ARC has been killing it as a daily driver. I've put so many miles on it the last month or so, and it's just been fantastic. So, well, I miss driving this car a lot. I mean, the ARC has just been fantastic for me. So, yeah, I'm happy with where both of my cars are at right now. They've both been treating me well since I had that string of problems to deal with for both of them. And if you guys did not see the exhaust video on the ARC, I highly recommend checking that out. I'll link that up here in the top corner right now. Seems like a lot of you think it's too quiet or it doesn't sound as good anymore, which it doesn't necessarily sound. I mean, it sounded a little bit like rice. I'll just leave it at that. It sounded a little bit like rice before just because it's a 4-cylinder. I think it sounds a lot more refined now for a daily driver. It sounds more luxurious, I guess you could say. Like, it doesn't scream at you, but you still hear it. It's still there, which is what I like. But this car, on the other hand, this car will still scream at you. Yeah. This one's never gonna change. This one's always gonna be loud and obnoxious. One other thing I should mention about the ARC is I'm going to be getting tint for it very soon because the tint on the Turbo X is super dark and it looks freaking fantastic. But this thing, as you can tell, is it's a fishbowl and it's pretty hideous looking. So yeah, it really needs tint. All right, so as I mentioned earlier, here are the products I'm gonna use. I was too lazy to bring them out there with me, so I'll go ahead and show you exactly what they are right now. This black trim restore you might remember from the SOC prep for the Turbo X, although I'm going to be using it much more extensively on this car. After that, we're gonna move to the clay bar kit. I might skip this step, I might not, depends on how hot it gets and if I'm getting tired or not. And then of course we're going to finish it off with the wax. So this is probably going to be the most tedious part of today, and that is the black trim restore. So on my Turbo X and on the 2008 and newer 9.3s, you don't have nearly as much of this black plastic trim as you do on the pre-facelift car. So you've got it on the bumper there, you've got it all along the doors here, you've got it on the mirror there, door handles especially, and then you're supposed to have it on the back bumper too. When I got the back bumper repainted, they also repainted this trim, which I mean, because the car is so dark, you can't really notice it, but it is a little bit annoying. I don't really care though, like I said. So we're gonna do that on both sides. We're just gonna have to mask everything off, because the proper way to do this is basically to mask off the area around it and then spray the plastic with this stuff. So I'm gonna start with the door handles, because I think that might be the most annoying part. I don't even know what notes that class is from. Might be like a sustainability class or something, but I really don't know. I'm just trying not to remember it. Well, I messed that up. We're gonna have to stick another one in there. If it stays that color, which I think it will because it's pretty much dry, that looks way better. You see it's pretty much gray, and now it's pretty much back to black. So those were the same color before, but that might still be drying, although it looks dry, although I'm not gonna touch it to see if it is or not. So other side now. Take this, you 15-page paper. This is what you're used for now. God, it's like someone vaped in here. Jeez. Camera decided to die halfway through putting that on, so that's nice. This is going to be a little bit tricky here, but I guess we'll try our best. Move the camera actually, because that's in like the ideal position to stand. There we go. It's just such an awkward angle to do this at. I think this mirror turned out far better than the other one. The other one, just because it was my first time doing the mirror, I kind of messed up. See a little bit right there. It's not perfect. I mean, this car isn't perfect. This is my first time doing this, so I'm not expecting it to be perfect, but this has been, the door handles have been done for about an hour now. It says it should take about 40 or 15 minutes for it to dry the touch and an hour to dry fully. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these off and see how it looks. And pray that I did a good enough job masking it so that there's no overspray on the door, because that would make me very sad. So this stuff right off the bat I can tell made a huge difference, because if you look on here, right there, let me get the camera to focus, see right there, that's a little spot that I taped over on accident. So that little spot is basically what it looked like before. Now time for the front bumper, which outside of this little orange reflector should be pretty easy to mask off. And for all you wondering, I have a headlight restoration kit coming in that I'm actually doing a sponsorship with, so headlight video will come basically whenever I get that stuff in. So probably in the next couple weeks would be my guess, but don't worry, these are finally going to get cleaned up soon. You know, I thought I'd get an early start on this, and I am sweating like crazy, so I have to keep taking breaks. It's so hot out. But the mirrors, or I just finished spraying those. These are gonna look really good, I think. This looks freaking amazing. Look at that. That looks so much better. I'm so happy with that. So now all we have left are these on both sides. Look at that. It looks brand new. It's not gray and faded anymore. So now we're going to let this dry a little bit longer, peel that off. So there you have it, guys. That is trim restore on my 2003 Saab 9.3. Totally worth, I think this was like $9 or $10 on Amazon. The Meguiar's Ultimate Black Plastic Restorer. I showed it a couple times in the video, but if you're still wondering what it's called, I mean, just pause the video and look at it. But I would say it made a huge difference. And at the beginning of the video, you might have noticed that I said I was also doing a clay bar and wax and scratch X. And I did all that today as well, but as you can see, this video is already like 13 minutes long, and I'm not trying to make like a 25-minute detailing video. So that's actually going to be split into a separate video, which should be uploaded on Wednesday. I ended up not doing the scratch X because I realized the car doesn't necessarily need scratch X a ton. I mean, it needs a lot, don't get me wrong. But the scratch X wasn't really going to make much of a difference. But look at that trim. It looks so much better. I'm so happy with how that turned out. No longer is it gray and faded and just cheap looking. It actually looks really good now. So huge shout out to Meguiar's for making a good product there. But with that being said, that's it for today, guys. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. Highly would recommend this, not only on your Saab 9.3, because the 9.3s, 9.5s, pre-2008, have a lot of this plastic trim. So would highly recommend it. It's probably going to take you a couple hours to do it like I did it. So I'm done rambling. If you enjoyed the video, like I said, give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already for more content on my two Saabs right here. I'll see you next time.